just think Beyonce need to let him go get some pussy. Seriously.
What?
Ryan Garcia, this Jay. I'm on the nitrous.
And I was at the dentist office the other day. I was taking a nitrous oxide. I suggested if anybody's like stressed out.
Jay-Z, I know you don't kill. Please don't send them at my head. Just call me. Talk to me like a man.
Go to the DR, something like, you know what I mean? Like,
what's that about though? What's that about? Are you good friend? Are you good friends with him still?
Think I need to let him go get some laughter. Seriously, what? Ryan Garcia is yay, and I'm on the nitrous. And I was at the dentist office the other day. I was taking the nitrous oxide. I suggested if anybody's like stressed out, Jason, I know you, that please don't sit them at my head. Just call me, talk to me like a man. Kanye West is once again stirring up controversy with his latest comments, and just days after reports broke that he's battling a serious addiction to nitrous gas. A never-be-seen interview with Candace Owens has surfaced, and Kanye isn't holding back, and this time he spilled some fresh tea on his former bestie Jay-Z and his cheating addiction. Now we all know Jay-Z cheating on Beyonce isn't exactly breaking news. Jay's owned up to it, and Beyonce has been dropping hints since Lemonade, even calling it out directly on her latest album Cowboy Carter, which features a revamped cover of Dolly Parton's classic hit Jolene. But instead of confronting her husband directly, Ba has been channeling her anger at the women supposedly trying to steal her man. But leave it to Kanye to crank up the drama even more. He's now fanning the flames of the Carter's cheating scandal, suggesting that Beyonce should have just let Jay do his thing because according to Kanye, Jay's been stepping out since day one. But this is just one part of the story. While most outlets reported on Kanye's comments from the Candace Owens interview by saying Kanye was justifying Jay-Z's cheating, turns out Kanye wasn't talking about that at all. If you watch the whole interview, the conversation was actually about something deeper, and Kanye was discussing the power structures in the entertainment business and the people Jay-Z works for. But when the conversation got a little too heavy, that's when Kanye switched gears and made that cheating joke, seemingly to stop himself from revealing too much. And here's what it gets even crazier. The timing of all this is pretty spooky when you think about it. Remember back in 2016 when Kanye was hospitalized and medicated against his will? Well, that happened just one day after he went off on Jay-Z during a concert, accusing him of having killed and claiming that Carter used blackmail to win Grammys. So now that Kanye is allegedly deep into his nitrous gas addiction, there's a lot of buzz about if Jay-Z and other big industry players might be trying to silence Ye again. But what exactly did Kanye reveal about Jay-Z in that interview with Candace? And could Jay really be pulling strings behind the scene to silence Ye? Let's break it down. Go to the dot of something like, you know what I mean? Like, what's that about though? What's that about? Are you good friend? Are you good friends with him still? So we all know that Beyonce and Jay-Z stopped being relationship goals a long time ago. I mean, if you've been paying attention to their love story from the beginning, you know they were never really goals to begin with, not when you dig into the details, but things really blew up in the public eye after Jay-Z was caught cheating. And who could forget that infamous Becky with the good hair that Beyonce called out on Lemonade? That whole situation had everyone side-eyeing Jay and realizing that the Carters' relationship is more like a business arrangement than a loving marriage. And just when we thought that things couldn't get any messier, there was the elevator incident when Solange went full-in Super Son on Jay-Z while Beyonce just stood there like it was another ordinary night in the Carter household. And as if all that drama wasn't enough, there are now some seriously dark rumors floating around about Jay-Z's alleged affair with the late Kathy White. The tea is that Kathy was reportedly ready to blow the lid off her affair with Jay, and not long after she tragically passed away under some very suspicious circumstances. Some folks are even speculating that Jay and Beyonce might have had a hand in Kathy's untimely demise to keep their secrets buried. So while the Carters may still put on a united front for the cameras, it's clear that their relationship is far from the fairy tale it once appeared to be. But leave it to Kanye West to stir the pot even more. In a newly released clip from his 2022 interview with Candace Owens, Gay suggested that Beyonce should have just let Jay cheat in peace because apparently he was going to do it regardless. He was telling you with like the code that now I'm being stupid, like I'm giving you guys stupid stuff because this is how it works. Like in order for me to stay successful, I have to keep giving you stupid stuff. I just think I need to let him go get some laughter. Seriously, what go to the doctor something like you know what I mean? Like, what's that about though? What's that about? Are you good friend? Are you good friends with him still? Cause you know what's missing from this whole. But hold up, let's rewind for a second so I can give you the full context of how Kenny even got on this topic. Because he wasn't just throwing shade at Jay for cheating on Beyonce, it was deeper than that. So it all kicked off when Candace Owens mentioned that she was vibing to Jay-Z's track Moment of Clarity from his 2003 The Black Album. She referenced a specific part where Jay talks about intentionally dumbing down his lyrics to make more money by appealing to a broader audience, and Jay justifies this move by saying that by getting rich, he's in a better position to give back to others rapping. And I can't help the poor if I'm one of them, so I got rich and gave back to me. That's the win-win. Now, Candace said that this reminded her of Kanye and the whole conversation about choosing between knowledge and material wealth. First off, when I was coming on the plane, my podcast was on shuffle, and Jay-Z song came on. It was he says, oh, I know what it was. He says, I dumbed down my audience to double my dollars. They criticize me for it, yet they all yell holla. If skills sold, truth be told, I'd probably be lyrically T-quality. Truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense, but I did F Milla, and I ain't been rhyming like common sense. When your sense got that much in common, and you've been hustling since your only perception for perception, go with what makes sense. Since I know what I'm up against, we as rappers must decide what's most important, and I can't help the poor if I'm one of them. So I got rich and gave back to me. That's the win-win. And I was just so stunned, I ran it back like 10 times because I forgot how much I love that song. And I was like, he's literally telling you that he is dumbing himself down. And he has decided that the better thing to do is to keep the people that follow him stupid and be able to help them by giving money. Like, I can't help I dumbed down my audience to double my dollars. Like, he has to make a decision to be smart, right? To be rapping like Tell Cole, or to make money and be able to give back to people. So he knows. And this made me think of you because you said on that podcast that got taken down that information is the #1 resource, right? And he knows that he has to choose between giving the people an information or having success. I was stunned by the verse, but that's when Kanye interrupted Candace asking what label Jay-Z was on when he rapped about choosing money over sharing knowledge. Kanye even brought Drake into this conversation. And when Candace kept going on about how Jay's is such an inspiration, Kanye just had this sly smirk on his face, like he was holding back from spilling even more tea. And then out of nowhere, he totally switched gears and cracked that joke about how Beyonce should have just let Jay cheat. Record label was he on that helped influence that decision? It was a Jewish record label. Okay, what was it? I don't know. See, I don't. Universal Def Jam. Yeah, Jam. He was definite Jewish and French because you got Vivendi that owns a Universal, but French, that's super colonizers like French. The French own 80% of African banks, you know, so nobody would be mad if you had tweeted that. By the way, are the French? Well, that's because the French don't hyper-focus on controlling the black voice like the Jewish media does so, but this makes me think Drake is the best rapper ever by the numbers. Jay-Z is the greatest rapper ever by the inspiration. Yeah, he inspired me there. You go, he was smart, you know what I mean? Like he was talking business, but you either got it or you didn't. He was telling you the code that now I'm being stupid, like I'm giving you guys stupid stuff because this is how it works. Like, in order for me to stay successful, I have to keep giving you stupid stuff. I just think I need to let him go get some laughter. Seriously, what go to the doctor thing like you know mean? Like, what's that about though? Candace then tried to nudge Kanye into spilling where he stands with Jay-Z and Beyonce these days, but Kanye wasn't having it. Instead of diving into any drama with the Carters, he dodged the question and shifted the focus back to himself. What's that about? Are you good friend? Are you good friends with him still? Cause you know what's missing from this whole. I don't know if you're going to run that line or not. I'm not. This is going up on Parler. What you mean? Are you going to run it? Yeah, that's the bigger question. Got to. I just think like man, it's like Jay-Z is like the head. You know, we were under the fire and we're the firefighters, but in order to be a good firefighter, you got to be willing to run into that fire. And that's what makes me the #1 firefighter. That's what makes me Michael, because I'll run into that fire. Everyone knows that I'll run into that fire. For the people in the burning building, who's the people in the pearl of society, because blacks and rappers are the thoughtly ERS. We elect everyone people, you know, if you go to